welcome back to the diner for this edition of Burgers and Fries. With me, of course, returning is the man, the myth, the legend. It's TT Burger 88.
Hello, everybody.
And we also have the Minnesota Thriller Wolf himself, Greg.
Hello.
What is it that we are talking about this time, guys?
The Disney vice president being racist and all that.
And what was his name, Tony?
Michael Giordano.
Oh, boy. It seems that it's like confirming what everybody just seems to be believing what was going on. Almost like we're not surprised that this revelation has happened. So when you heard about this, what were your initial thoughts, guys?
I'm not really surprised at this point.
I'm not surprised either because Disney has gone downhill so much. I remember back in 2007, we all bitched about Hannah Montana and everything. And looking back at it now, when you compare it to the monsters on Disney nowadays, it makes Hannah Montana seem excellent.
Well, and that's the thing is the people from all that time, like Zac Efron has a respectable career. Miley Cyrus, you don't have to like her music, but she has a respectable career. You can name a lot of people from that era who have matured and are clearly not of the same mold that what Disney is doing now, right?
And Demi Lovato, who couldn't figure out if she's a female or she couldn't figure out what her gender is at all.
Oh, good God. When Demi Lovato had that haircut, she looked like a poor man's version of Dora the Explorer. Let's preface this. Now, if someone is going to listen to us and think, oh, we're just a bunch of white people complaining, you're just a bunch of right-wing bigots. Tony, briefly remind the listener, who did you vote for in 2020?
Joe Biden, so I am not a right-wingist.
Who did you vote for in 2016?
Hillary Clinton.
Okay. Who did you vote for in 2012?
Obama.
Bingo. So at least one of these three people talking here is not right-wing. Tony is the furthest thing from right wing, considering who he votes for. And also, I am of Slavic descent. And if you know your history, folks, you know that Slavic citizens in World War II were also subject to Nazi persecution. And Tony here, he's a redhead ginger. And there's less of people like Tony than there are black people in the country. Please leave your minority discrimination out the door, people.
Please do. We don't have time for
it. Now, for context, someone on the O'Keefe Media Group went undercover and pretended to go on this date with Michael Giordano. And he is the senior vice president and team lead at the Walt Disney Company. So I know another thought was, what a fucking idiot. Like, if you're on a date with someone and this person is just asking you these very precise questions and you're blurting them out like nothing, like, wouldn't you be suspicious if all of a sudden you were asked on your first date by somebody you don't know, what are your hiring practices at the company you work for?
Damn. Oh, Snap is right.
I guess he was desperate to get laid or something.
Yeah, they revealed that he's been on lots of dates, that he's been on these dating websites. Who knows how many people he's actually been blurting this shit out to?
Who knows is right.
And he's probably been blurting it out because, he's so confident that it's not going to get him in trouble, that he's content with what Disney has been doing, even though he himself is a white guy noticing the discrimination happening. But no, as long as he's getting paid, he's okay with what's going on for virtue signaling's sake, I guess. And the thing is, as of a day ago, this clown got forced out of the company. And I don't blame Disney. Would you?
Nope.
If I was Disney, I'd kick his ass out too. You're somebody in a high paid position. You're high up in the company. You're well known and you spill company secrets. That would be like Joe Biden spilling defense secrets or spilling defense codes to Russia.
It reminds me of what Dan Schneider did with Nickelodeon.
He wasn't spilling secrets, though.
His motives.
No, this wasn't Dan Schneider spilling secrets. He wasn't caught spilling secrets. People eventually came out and said, this is what this asshole was doing. That's completely different, Tony.
I get you. No. Never mind.
I think there are times when it's like so front and center. It's like great because that's the focus, you know. Like we have so many shows where we're casting and we're like, yeah, we're not even going to see, you know, certain people for it because we need that particular role to.
Yeah.
So
is it intentional that they want they only look for diverse candidates for certain roles?
Yeah. I think there's certainly a belief that it's just good for society and they can move. But there's also a belief that, like, we're going to make more money if we appeal to a wider variety of people. And it's a good thing, because we have shareholders too, you know. And so diversity helps with that.
Diversity helps with financial incentive.
Yeah.
So is it like, do you think it's more so on that side, or are you using, like, any good crisis gets put to use?
Disney would
Or
do it regardless. I think that Disney would do it regardless. But I think that there are, like, even conservative people who may not want to lean into it can easily make the argument that, like, we make more money when we appeal to a wider variety of people, and that means diversity.
yeah,
There's a real focus on every show. And I'm sure the movies too, though I don't deal with that side of it. So, just making sure that the writers' room has a real, diversity, not just gender or sexual orientation and ethnicity, but, making sure that they're hiring some writers who may have certain disabilities where they wouldn't have hired before. Since there's kind of a really broad look whenever we're doing that to make sure that everybody gets.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, let's hire these people because we feel bad for them. What kind of crock of shit is that?
It's like giving someone the lead role in a Broadway musical just because you feel sorry for them and their singing is so bad that you can't tell them.
Indeed.
Oh, so they want to include everyone because they think more diversity is going to add more butts in the seats.
Bullshit.
The Disney movies have been making less money. Diverse people are not watching their shitty movies. Oh, they're thinking if they do this long enough, then people will just accept it. Then they just start showing up and paying the tickets. It must be really nice to be able to lose billions of dollars over time just so you can get your agenda pushed over quality movies that get people in the seats. Must be nice, right?
Yeah.
We had a situation where we wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now, who was half black, but didn't appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not that's not what we want."
They wanted the full.
They wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting.
And so this is on the
This was on the
corporate side, the business side.
Never understood that. Is it 'cause I know a lot of I have a lot of pop friends who are not as dark as So do they care about that, or it's the ethnicity actually?
They say they don't care about it, but the truth is, to some extent, they do. If you're mixed, but you don't look black at all, which sometimes happens,
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, I'm not so sure." But if you're mixed and you can tell somebody's part black, but they're not that black, so okay, that was still it's crazy.
Oh, you guys got that part right? Where it's this guy wasn't black enough, so they didn't hire him. You heard that part, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. I guess it's like if Leona Lewis, I guess if she tried out, they wouldn't even hire her because she's not black enough for sort of, even though she has a father who's African American and a mother who's white.
Oh, but Amanda Stenberg, the chick in The Acolyte, who is half white, she's fine because she looks black enough. And because she's also gay and identifies as gender fluid. So she fills out all their diversity check boxes there, I guess.
Oh, great.
And,
It's more like a popularity contest and favoritism than it is for trying to find good actors and actresses.
Imagine they did this in pro wrestling. So the wrestler known as Mercedes Moné in AEW, she was formerly known as Sasha Banks in WWE. She's a cousin of Snoop Dogg, a first cousin. But they looked at her and said, "Nope, your skin isn't dark enough. You don't look black enough." And if you don't know who Sasha Banks Mercedes Moné is, look her up. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Imagine if they did that at WWE today and stuff too. There would be lawsuits up the ass. And Vince McMahon would lose his company.
Well, Vince McMahon lost his company because he paid more money for sex than he paid for all of WCW.
I mean, you know what I mean.
But anyway, you also have the guy who's Sami Zayn. This is a practicing Muslim from Syria. His parents are Syrian. But because he's from Quebec and because he's a French-speaking Canadian, because he looks like a ginger, Imagine if WWE said, nope, you're not Arab looking enough.
Oof.
Then this guy wouldn't be having the career he's had the past few years. This is one of the top talent in WWE right now. Imagine losing out on this guy because they thought, nope, you may be Arab descent, but you don't look Arab enough.
Indeed.
Imagine if they decided that half Samoan, half black, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wasn't black enough.
Imagine that.
Okay, and it gets better. So let's get to this.
Apparently, Meghan Markle is black enough. You can't make this up.
So would like Meghan Markle, who's pretty white,
Right. Yeah.
would she be considered
She would still
like,
be, yeah.
diverse?
She
Or,
would, yeah.
or
What?
Not even black.
She doesn't look black.
Jeez.
Oh my God. She was the one trying to push the victim card on herself. Like when she married Prince Harry. And I looked at her, I'm like, okay. She does not look at all like who she says she is.
Honestly, I thought she looked Mexican or something.
My good God. Oh. But again, Amanda Stenberg's fine because she looks black enough, even though she's half white. So, my God. What? And again, this fucking idiot is blurting out these secrets like he's almost proud of them.
Maybe it's because he doesn't care.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he knows there's stuff happening. And maybe he's finally deciding, no, maybe this is my time to speak out. But yeah, you really can't make this stuff up. They say they don't care about the color of your skin, but they really do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge discriminatory lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Disney lost millions of dollars for this.
Oh, they'll lose billions over this. Can you imagine how many people that did not get hired that went through the hiring practices and they saw that there were people that were less qualified than them that got the jobs?
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yep.
Yeah, Walt Disney would be probably rolling in his grave right now, hearing all this stuff that's going on with his company.
Easily.
So,
Oh, do you think that has a lot to do with it?
I don't know a lot, but it's something to do with it.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think the competition is?
Oh, I mean, I've been up for jobs internally against people who have less experience than me, and you know, I haven't gotten.
Okay. And they were given to somebody else. Do you think it had something to do with their...
One or two cases, you know, I was told very explicitly that it is. Yeah.
Explicitly how? What did they tell you?
I mean, I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for a shot. They're just not. That's not what they want.
And so it's probably fair that Disney would say, we don't want a white person to play this role.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very careful about they're very careful about messaging because they don't want to get too much discrimination in either direction. But certainly there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
How would they say it?
there's no way we're hiring a white male person. They say
Like straight to you? Or, okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
In like email or whatever.
Right.
Oh, we have code words for it. What are the code words? We won't hire a white person. Fucking ridiculous.
You can't even make this shit up.
No, you can't. Oh my God. And it's at my work. I'm going to close with this. At my work, I've even seen this stuff happen at the smaller level where it seems the teams that get selected are solely based on the diversity. So at my work during the pandemic, we did online presentations for schools because they physically couldn't visit our building. So the team was a couple of presenters plus people that handled the Zoom chats and handled the switching and all that. And there would be at least 2 presenters. And the program lead who oversaw scheduling flat out admitted in the Zoom meeting, he said that he wanted always to have 1 female and 1 male on screen. Never 2 men or never 2 women. But the problem with that is that some of these people who were selected to be presenters clearly didn't know anything. And it showed during the live Q&A. Like, yeah, you can read a script for the actual presentation, but during the Q&A portion, when the kids were actually asking us questions, This one chick who we'll call Betty, this one time I had to team up with her on the presentation side. During the Q&A, she couldn't answer a single science-related question and often deflected them to me to make me answer for her. Oh, I'm not sure. Anthony, can you answer that? In my mind, I'm thinking, why the fuck are you working at a science museum if you don't know how to answer a science question?
Because she's a dumb blonde or something?
Oh, she wasn't a dumb blonde, but she was definitely a dumb female dog. Let's just put it that way. One time we were dealing with a group of unruly kids who refused to listen to commands when we're telling them, hey, stop spamming and messing around the Zoom chat. So we kicked out these kids that wouldn't listen to our command. And then Betty got pissed at us and started saying a bunch of social justice activist bullshit towards the rest of us in Slack over how we were being unfair to the kids. Because, they don't understand English that well. We're supposed to be all about diversity. Maybe we should start communicating in Spanish.
No.
Well, not all of us are bilingual, idiots.
If they're going to come to our country, how about they learn our language, please? Thank you very much.
The presentation was in English. So it is what it is. If we did a module where the presentation was in Spanish, okay, then that's what it was. But we had a quick Zoom meeting and the program lead asked her, what are you on about? And then she started whining that she never got selected to be presenter anymore and was always off camera. Like I said, a dumb female dog. Okay, so we have always said this, guys. Look, we're all about the right person being hired for the job. This person with the right qualifications, whatever their skin color is, whatever consenting adult they sleep with behind closed door, that shouldn't matter. Well, it says here you think the Earth is flat and you think the moon landings are faked. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Well, we can't really have you work at this astronomy science museum if that's what you believe in. Oh, but I'm a trans person of color who identifies as gender fluid. Oh, never mind. Welcome aboard.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
And it's been happening in many places. It's not just Disney. So as a result of things like this coming to light, especially because racial discrimination towards hiring has been against the law for 60 years, do you think Disney and maybe companies like this will finally stop doing this?
They don't care. They're all about the money.
Well, they're going to get a lot more money taken out of their accounts if they keep this up. And look, I know there's people that are going to immediately dismiss this because it came from James O'Keefe Media. Thus, they're labeling it as far-right propaganda. But the fact of the matter is Disney, through this knucklehead, just got caught actively being discriminatory. So no, this shouldn't be happening at all, no matter what your race is. Especially if you are more than qualified for the job, but instead you're rejected solely on the color of your skin because you're not diverse enough, according to them. I mean, look, Disney's product, it's been largely shit. Their movies have been earning less and less at the box office. Strange World bombed. Wish bombed. Lightyear bombed. Elemental did okay, but not as good as they wanted. Madam Web bombed. Quantumania, disappointment. The Marvels bombed. But again, I'm talking about the movies that were released in the last couple years. Every Disney Lucasfilm movie since 2012 has had less returns. Solo
Bombed.
Indiana Jones 5
Bombed.
The TV shows that nobody has been watching.
Bomb.
Also bombed.
But hey, look at our diverse employees. Look at that diverse cast. Ha ha.
Bullshit.
Exactly. Where's all the women going to your movies? Where's all the diverse people going to your movies?
They ain't showing up. They don't want to. They have no interest in them.
If you had one more reason to hate Disney, then this should add to the pile. 70% of their audience is still white. And apparently Disney hates their white audience now to the point where they refuse to hire people because they're white.
Man, if Walt Disney himself was still alive these days, he would have fired all these people immediately and he would have got new people.
Yeah, I agree. That's all right. So with that said, guys, the diner is closed. I'm Desert Cut 22. Thanks for listening.